Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to SEMO TV. I'm your host, SEMO, and today we're going to have ourselves a little bit of a palate cleanser with all the craziness going on in the world. I think it's time we look at a man like Jim Carrey and decide, is that a mask? Well, he's certainly capable of changing his face. He's probably one of the best character actors on the planet. In fact, I can't say that he isn't the best character actor on the planet, starring in such movies as The Mask, and Ace Ventura, and The Truman Show. Now, that's just to name a few of his best work, in my opinion. And I got to tell you, if you haven't seen The Truman Show, especially in today's day and age, if you're a little younger, you see this grazing my beard here. The Truman Show was truly a masterpiece. Even today, it holds up. And I think it's more important than ever that if you haven't seen that particular movie, go ahead and see it. And I also want to give a shout out to Ace Ventura, because something I noticed going back in time, I don't think, and correct me if I'm wrong, maybe if you're a little older than I am, I don't ever recall people quoting movies before Ace Ventura. Maybe a little bit of Wayne's World, I guess. There was the Schwing stuff. But man, once Ace Ventura dropped, people absolutely, every line was a quotable line in that movie. Unbelievable, changed lives. It was so great and so funny. And just a tremendous actor, a tremendous character. You can go back and watch his stand-up from like early 80s. I mean, the man was just a legend in living color. Like an all-black cast. And they were like, no, we got to get Jim Carrey on the show too. And God bless him, because Fire Marshal Bill, I'm laughing right now just thinking about Fire Marshal Bill. It's genuine. He's so funny. He's such a great actor. He's so malleable in the face. It's unbelievable what the guy could do with his face. And I think that's what we're here to talk about today. So let's get into this. Did Jim Carrey get cloned? A lot of people on the internet.com think exactly yes, he might have just been cloned. And I got to tell you, I might be one of the voices that disagree with this. I've heard a lot of stories coming out. I've seen a lot of people dropping some footage, and honestly, it's a lot of fake news. And I'm sorry to tell you, I know we want to believe it. I know we want that stuff. There's plenty out there. There's plenty of true stuff out there. Pizzagate, guys, we still haven't even sunk our teeth into Pizzagate yet. There's so much there, and I will make a video. I promise. Ooh, it's creepy. But again, digress. Jim Carrey, maybe not a clone. Why do I think this? Well, again, the fake news that's been kind of dropping on these social media platforms are saying things like, oh, he was just on Colbert and he had short hair. How does he go from having short hair just recently to having long hair now? No, he wasn't recently on Colbert. He hasn't been on Colbert since 2020, February of 2020. So that's myth busted. Next, his eyes have changed color. Well, no, also not true. In the light that he was under in this particular interview, really highlighted how green his eyes are. And in fact, it also showed how kind of really showed the what's happening with his face. It's certainly not the Jim Carrey we're used to, but if you go back to what you can find recently as you can with Jim Carrey, he's still looking like that, which is the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. He inducted Soundgarden, and he said, "Long live Chris Cornell." It was a beautiful speech, and it was real Jim Carrey type stuff. The way he talked, what he talked about, how it affected him. That was the guy we all knew, in my opinion. And the guy in France certainly did not seem like that guy. I will give you that. That was an odd behavior. Now, number one, he's in France. Number two, he was speaking French for that whole speech that he gave. So his mind was definitely kind of working in French, I believe, to create that speech. I don't know what what people were interviewing him from, what country they were. So I don't know if he was trying to create certain language or use like a limited language to kind of talk to an international media or paparazzi. Maybe that's part of it. but it was certainly odd. He did sound like somebody who had never given an interview before, or it was like his first interview as like the new clone, like I get that. No question. It did sound like, oh, this is my first time in Jim's body, and I hope I did a good job for the legend of Jim. So no question, that was certainly seemed like the case. But Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, the face is the same. The next thing you can get back to, if you want to compare, is a photograph you can find of him in 2022. And again, he still looks the same, still kind of puffy in the face, still got a lot of the same lines. I don't think the guy would get plastic surgery. His face is his case, right? Face is the case, man. He's not gonna mess with his face. The man creates characters using that face. So I can't imagine he would pump it up with something fake or do any plastic surgery. And his chin does look a little wider and broader, but again, I just can't imagine. But again, the guy also has been through like a roller coaster of emotions and not sure where he stands with things. Another thing that is certainly clear is that he believes Jim Carrey is also a character. And I can understand that. I mean, he's become so famous that Jim Carrey has to be for people and not for himself. And so it's probably hard for him to kind of understand who Jim Carrey, the actual person, really is inside. And I can totally understand that not that I could understand. I've never dealt with fame or anything, but he's there. He's here for the people. And the people have just anywhere the guy goes, he's hounded. He's one of the biggest stars on the planet. So it's got to be difficult to deal with that sort of thing. We've seen a roller coaster of emotions through his life, or at least his later part of life. He was married to Jenny McCarthy. They had that interview on Larry King where, they were very anti-vaccination. And they spoke up on those things and why are children getting like 2 or 3 times, 4 times more vaccines than any other kids around the world. And, I think they made good cases there, but they were very serious about a cause. And I think that was an odd look for somebody like Jim Carrey, who is supposed to be fun and funny. And, and I think that's where that confuses a guy like Jim Carrey because, stay in your lane, Jim Carrey. You know what I mean? And so like, this is also kind of that. It's like, we want Jim Carrey. We want the Jim Carrey. And if we don't get the Jim Carrey, we're like, what's going on? And nowadays it's like, what's going on? Is he a clone? Guys, I think that's a little too far. I'm not saying clones don't exist. I mean, look at Joe Biden. I mean, that guy, if there's clones, Joe Biden is a good example. I mean, the guy was like scratching his neck and it looked like he was pulling a mask off. So take that for what it is. And as a small man, he's a frail, small man. I saw a picture my friend sent me once of him walking around in Nantucket. I mean, if you ever seen Mars Attacks, they're like these little people with like these. Anyway, it just kind of looks like doesn't look as human as you would think. Just saying. But again, that's not what this video is about. This video is about Jim Carrey. And so since 2022, this face that you see of Jim Carrey is the same. His eyes are the same. I think the light, like I said, the light and these cameras, very vibrant. And I think they just show off the true color of his eyes. And even since 2022, same color eyes. Before that, he definitely looked a little more chiseled in the face. You had a little bit more of that classic Jim Carrey look prior to that. But again, that's a while back. He's getting older. People change. The hairline's the same. I was trying to study it. The nose is the same. The lines in his cheeks are the same. I mean, they're droopier than they were, but things happen to people as they age. So I'm just not buying into this one, guys. So I wish I could. I mean, maybe that would make a more interesting video, but I got to tell you, I'm just not on this particular train. So let me know what you think in the comments. And I'm open to change my mind. I was open to it. I was looking into it, but most of the things I saw, I was able to debunk pretty quickly. And that's why I wanted to make this video. So I hope you guys are doing well out there, wherever it is you are, whatever it is you're doing, and continue to like, comment, and subscribe. Appreciate y'all out there and can't wait to see you. And we'll see you on the next one. Thanks for watching.